The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of health, legal, financial, and home improvement. We do about 50 shows a week, and they're mostly targeted different parts of the country. And our first guest today has done such a great number on me that we had made a decision to broadcast his show in every market in the United States. That's how much we think of him. We're going to be talking today about peptides. And I want to welcome, I'm telling you, this is one of the greatest doctors in the United States, Dr. Eldred Taylor of Taylor Medical Group.
Oh,
good
boy.
Morning, Dr. Taylor.
Yeah, man, that's a little strong there.
Okay, I'll take it back.
A little strong, but
no, Dr. Taylor, I got to tell you, I have learned so much from you, and you've got so much knowledge, but it's the way you educate us on your knowledge. We talk about so many different areas. Today, we're going to be talking about peptides. But before we start, we have gotten so many letters, Dr. Taylor, and I think it's because it's becoming more vigilant in the media, people talking about this bird flu. And I think it's people are looking at it so much different now because of what happened with COVID. What can people do to at least protect themselves if this does come around?
Well, I would tell you that with almost any type of bacterial or viral infection, your best defense is trying to make sure your immune system is in top-notch shape. So, when COVID came around, and there was no vaccine, the advice we gave to people how to build your immune system is make sure your vitamin D level is where it should be. Now, normal vitamin D is 30 to 100, but you don't want to be at 30. You want to be above 50, like 60, 70, because vitamin D is very important for your immune system. The other thing is make sure that your gut is working well. So you can take probiotics. Actually, about 70% of your immune system, 70 or 80% of your immune system is in your GI system. So having the right bacteria in your gut helps your immune system work better. And the other thing is vitamin C. Vitamin C helps the immune system, and it also is antibacterial and antiviral. So it actually kills bacteria or viruses. And the great thing about your body is that if your immune system, whether it's a bird flu or COVID or whatever, your immune system, when it's healthy, is built to fight off those types of infections. Even if you get it, it shouldn't be to the point where it's devastating if your immune system is working well. So vitamin C, probiotics, make sure your vitamin D is where it should be. And that can help, prevent all types of bacterial or viral infections.
We just got a text here. Good question from Chicago. Enjoying your show. Vitamin D and vitamin C, I understand from what you're talking about, but how much? Because when you walk into a supplement store, there's different milligrams. And how do we know how much to
Yeah.
take of C and D?
Well, for vitamin D, if your vitamin D level is normal and you're trying to maintain it, and I say normal 50 or above, then about 5,000, and it comes in international units, so it'll say 5,000 IUs, is enough to maintain a normal vitamin D level. If you want to increase your vitamin D, you're going to have to take 10,000 international units. You can also get vitamin D injections of 50,000 international units, but it does take a little time for vitamin D levels to increase. So you may have to, even if you get an injection, you get a couple of injections, you still usually have to wait a few weeks before you actually see the vitamin D level go up. So either 5,000 to 10,000 IUs or 50,000 IM. And then when you're talking about vitamin C, now vitamin C is a little bit unusual because you can only absorb so much vitamin C at one time. So it's better if you're going to take vitamin C, 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams if you're really trying to fight off an infection. If you're just trying to maintain your immune system, 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams is probably enough, but you need to take it separate, okay? Because you can only absorb so much at a time. And if you take more, let's say I'm going to take all 3,000 milligrams right now, actually the percent of absorption goes down the more you take at one time. So if you're going to take 2,000 milligrams, you ought to take 1,000 twice a day, or if you're going to take 3,000, take 1,500 twice a day, or 1,000 3 times a day. So that's that's how you try to make sure your immune system is healthy. If you really have a ongoing real infection going on right now where you're really sick, you need IV vitamin C. And I'm talking about 25,000 milligrams or 25 grams of vitamin C IV. That's actually how they treated COVID patients in China before there were any vaccines. And they were able to get a lot of people out of the ICU just by giving them 25 grams of vitamin C every day for 5 days. So if you have a significant viral or bacterial infection, then you want to take big doses of IV vitamin C.
Okay. Dorothy in Charlotte, North Carolina. She wants to know, she's 68 years old. She's been taking Ozempic for 8 weeks, and I've not lost 1 pound. Does that mean that I have hormone problems?
It very well could be. 68, you probably already gone through menopause, and what can happen is if you go through menopause, and this may be counterintuitive, but if you are overweight, your fat tissue is making estrogen, and estrogen makes you hold on and store fat. What you're lacking is something called progesterone, which helps you to burn that fat for energy. Or you can have cortisol issues, and at 68, you could be taking care of elderly parents, or you got kids that maybe especially you got a job or retirement or whatever is going on. Cortisol can also be a hindrance to weight loss. So in our practice, if there's any idea that there may be a hormone problem based on the symptoms or the time in your life that you are, we always check the hormones first, because it's very hard to diet, exercise, use Ozempic or whatever if your hormones are out of whack. So if she's been on it for 8 weeks, so that means that they've increased the dose once and she hasn't lost any weight. Yeah, I would definitely want to talk to her and see if there's any inclination that there's a hormone issue. And I would check those hormones, and you can look at some of our other videos, and we can talk about it. You always check hormones through saliva, not through blood. And because this person, they may have checked their hormones and said everything was fine, and she thinks that's not an issue. But if you haven't checked the hormones correctly, you don't know if you have a hormone problem or not.
So if they're in another city, Dr. Taylor, they
Mm-hmm.
can go to your website, or they
Yep.
can call your office, and you can actually send them a package that would test their saliva, and then you
Right.
make recommendations.
Right. Right. So yeah, you would, and so how we would do it, we would do an initial telehealth. You would fill out all of the information, your medical history, and from that we would, decide what we should be testing and everything. And yeah, you can, we can send you out a test kit. It's very self-explanatory how to do it. You just collect saliva 4 times during the day. You send it off. The results come back to me. We would set up another telehealth. We go over it, and whatever you need or whatever we think you might need. Usually, you can get that arranged. Now, you're talking about IVs. We'd have to try and find somewhere in your city, but knowing what is going on, yeah, we could figure that out, and you don't necessarily have to be sitting in my office.
We hear so much about peptides, Dr. Taylor. What
Mm-hmm.
are peptides?
Yeah, peptides are it's really short for protein. Proteins are made up of peptides. So you have amino acids, and then those amino acids make peptides, and those peptides make proteins. So peptides are just these small little proteins. And semaglutide or Ozempic, that's actually mimicking a peptide called GLP, glucagon-like peptide. And so that little peptide is able to do all of these things, make people lose weight, lower their hemoglobin A1C, decrease their chances of cardiovascular disease. I mean, you can see all kinds of labs get better just by adding a peptide that can control all of these processes. Well, a lot of this research was done in Russia 30, 40 years ago. And they saw how these peptides could make all of the difference in all of these different organ systems and processes. And so semaglutide, GLP-1 or whatever, that's a peptide. And so I guess that's gotten interest in peptides overall. Now, we've been using other peptides. There's a peptide we use called cerebrolysin that has a lot of scientific information behind it, and it repairs broken connections in the brain. So it's very good for patients who may have had traumatic brain injury, who may have had a stroke, who may be feeling like dementia may be an issue, or Alzheimer's. It has been shown to either slow down or actually reverse some of the issues associated with decreasing brain function or cognition. And there's all kinds of peptides can do all kinds of things. We have another peptide called PT141. I think we talked about that one time on our about erectile dysfunction, which it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system to allow the blood vessels going to the penis to relax and open up and allow more blood to go in. Works very well. And it even works for women to increase their libido and their responsiveness. And, that's something that's, has been a little hard to come up with, is to help women with decreased libido. So the PT141 works for that. There's another peptide called BPC 157 that is called body protective compound. That seems to help to restore damaged tissue, joints. People who have shoulder issues, they can inject BPC 157. And all of these peptides are just like Ozempic or semaglutide. It's a sub-Q injection. So it's not like you have to have some big long needle and put it in your arm or whatever. It's just a little sub-Q injection. I could go on and on about peptides. We may have to take one show and talk about one peptide. There's a peptide called GHK-Cu that is used in cosmetics. It helps to restore the skin. There's ones that increase immune function. at last count, there was like over 150 different peptides that they've
Wow.
identified, and they continue to identify. So I think this is going to be, a another kind of revolution in medicine, because it's allowing it's what it's doing. It's allowing the body to just work more efficiently, because semaglutide, what it does, it makes glucose more efficient. It goes into the cell. You're able to use it more efficiently. So now you don't have to eat as much to get that same energy output. So the beautiful thing about peptides, it just makes the body work more efficiently, more naturally. So you're not actually introducing something that is foreign to the body. It's a peptide. It knows what peptides are. It says, oh wow, now I can repair this tissue better. I can repair the brain better. I can repair their immune system better just by being exposed to this peptide.
We got another text from Atlanta, where you're
Mhm.
located at. Dr. Taylor, do you have your own formulation of the skinny injection?
No, I don't have my own formulation, but I get it from a compounding pharmacy. And so I can get it at uh, less of a price than if I write a prescription and you go get Ozempic. uh, it's going to cost you like $1,000 a month. You can get it from compounding pharmacies, and it's much less expensive. And the problem with Ozempic right now, the insurance companies have gotten real strict. And if you don't have type 2 diabetes or elevated hemoglobin A1C, then your insurance company is probably not going to pay for the Ozempic. So if you don't have one of those medical issues, your insurance company usually is not going to pay. So if you're someone who's trying to prevent having type 2 diabetes because you want to lose weight, which would prevent type 2 diabetes, then you're out of luck. Insurance companies are not going to pay for prevention. So that's where we come in, or other practices come in that are able to get the generic form of that semaglutide and allow patients who want to prevent type 2 diabetes or prevent cardiovascular disease to lose weight, so that our medical system is so weird. We want our patients to wait until they get sick enough for us to treat them. But what we really should be doing is helping people lose weight so that we don't have to wait for the issue to become more complicated.
Well, Dr. Taylor, boy, you just hit a soft spot. So I have Medicare, and
Mhm.
I was paying $10 a month for
Right.
Ozempic. I
Hmm.
just got a letter from my
Hmm.
insurance company saying I've used up everything, because it's expensive. Uh,
Right. Right.
Now I got to pay $1,000 a month now,
I
and
know.
that's it's actually about 900 as Medicare. But
Yeah.
the thing is, though, you don't keep getting this forever with Medicare. You can
Yeah.
only get so much of it.
Well, that again, that's the craziness. That's what's happening with most insurance companies, and I've heard this over and over again. The They had an elevated hemoglobin A1C. They got on the Ozempic. Their hemoglobin A1C went down. Now the insurance company says, "Oh, your hemoglobin A1C is normal. You don't need it anymore." So then they take them off the Ozempic. They wait till they gain some more weight. Then so it's crazy. Now the thing is, hopefully with you, if your hemoglobin A1C is down, you've been on it for a while, I really do think that the semaglutide does some type of permanent change as to how you relate to food. I mean, I was on it, a long time ago. I haven't taken in any in like 3, 4, 5 months now. I haven't gained any weight, and the way I think about food has not changed. I really don't. I don't like look forward to eating. It's not. It's not like I have to have a whole piece of cake or whatever. So I think there is some permanency to it, but I also think it's very, if you need it, to have some type of maintenance plan where you either use it, and this is how we tell our patients, once they reach a weight that they're comfortable with, use the injections instead of once a week. Try to do it every 2 weeks. And then if you don't
Right.
gain any weight, do it every 3 weeks. Or you can take a lesser dose more often or whatever. So that seems to work best. Different people are different. Some people can maintain their weight. Some people need a little help. But I'm a big fan of it. I really think it helps a lot of people in a lot of ways.
It has absolutely helped me. I've lost 25 pounds. I have
Yeah.
never lost 25 pounds doing anything. I have
Yeah.
actually, I've been lucky. I haven't noticed any of the side effects.
Yeah.
In the beginning, a little nausea, but not enough to. But it's an incredible product,
Yeah.
and it's what's so sad, Dr. Taylor, and I haven't told you this yet. With a show like ours, we have a lot of attorneys, different
Mhm.
areas of law.
Right.
So I'm starting to get attorneys wanting to do a show on going after, those companies from people who've had
Mm.
gastro problems.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Well, the thing is, uh, the way you're supposed to do it, the way we do it, if you slowly graduate up that dose, I mean, I've had very few people who had insignificant side effects. And as you graduate it up, if a patient starts to have side effects, you don't go up on the dose anymore. You kind of stay there or you go back down. And, I there's a lot of people out there selling a lot of stuff, and you see things on the
Yeah.
internet, whatever. And so I don't know if they're dosing people too quickly. If people are like, hey, I don't want to wait, 2-3 months to get up to the highest dose. Give it to me now. And I
Yes.
guarantee you, if you do that highest dose, the first one, you will throw your guts up for the next 2 or 3 days. And
Yes.
it's not because it's the drug. You took too much too quickly. So you can abuse anything. I'm telling you, I mean, you can have a bottle of aspirin, you take too many of it, you'll bleed to death.
Exactly.
But is that because the aspirin had 30 capsules in it? No, you decided to take 30 capsules at one time. So that's the issue. So, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't, whatever, but
But it's
uh,
such a great
thing
product,
is,
Dr. Taylor.
yeah, and yeah. So the thing is, I would hate the fact that some people are abusing it or doing it wrong. Somehow limits the people who are really benefiting from it, and that
Right.
happens all the time. I'm telling you, whatever is new and supposed to be great, somebody will figure out how to abuse it and make it not so great. So that it's just bound to happen, especially when something is this popular.
Well, I tell you what's sad is when you're overweight, Dr. Taylor, it causes you so many health issues. And I'm
Exactly.
really surprised insurance companies wouldn't like this product because it's going to save them so much money in the long run.
You know, I think insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, they are only worried about the next quarterly shareholder report. That's they're not worried about 5 years from now. They're not worried about they have to show a profit this quarter. So how do they do that? Try to find things they don't have to pay for, so they can keep getting premiums and not have to pay anything out. So yeah, it makes total sense if you have a long-term view. But that CEO of that insurance company, if he doesn't deliver a profit, he's going to be out, next year. So, when something doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, it's always about the money.
Yes. Yes, because you've taught me all the different health issues that
Yeah.
go with being overweight. And there's so
Yeah.
much, I hate to say it, there's so much crap out there.
Yeah.
And this is really a great product.
Mhm.
Let's give everybody your phone number and your website.
Yeah. So my office phone number is 678-443-4000, 678-443-4000. And then the website is taylormedicalgroup.net, taylormedicalgroup.net. And then we also have a supplement company, and it's TaylorMDFormulations.com. TaylorMDFormulations.com, TaylorMedicalGroup.net. All right.
And remember, you can use Dr. Taylor with telemed. So it doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. Very important. Dr. Taylor is with us every month. He's on with us the first Wednesday of each month at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Dr. Taylor, have a wonderful 4th of July. Enjoy your family.
All right.
And we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Taylor.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's Dr. Eldred Taylor. He is an amazing MD, and we're so lucky to have him. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we've got more with Ask the Experts.
And we are back with the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV with your hosts, Steve-O, Sophia, and their expert guests. Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.